Guys, welcome back. I am Mariano Doms, the author of Any Model Anywhere. It's an ebook about improving photo sessions with in glamour photography as opposed to nature photography or underwater photography. This is about working with models. So I want to share with you guys 10 more mistakes that photographers make in photo sessions. Okay, so the previous video I shared 10, and I'm going to share another 10 because there's a lot of mistakes I know that I've made, and I know that a lot of us make in photo sessions. And if we counter these mistakes, then we will make the most out of our time in the photo session, make the most out of those 3 hours. Obviously, they can be less or more time, a photo session. But let me get to it. So the first one, or number 11, if you count the previous 10, right? Number 11 would be not securing permission concretely. And that means, like, let's say you want to shoot at a particular location, some cool place, that you think, wow, I'd really like to shoot there. And you call up to see if you can get permission to shoot there, and they say yes, but they still need to run it through their manager, right? They say, well, I don't see any problem with it, but I'll have to speak to my manager, and they're not in right now. So get concrete permission. Do your best to speak to the person in charge, the person who gives you permission, the person with the authority, right? So sometimes even the model will say, well, I have a friend who has a friend, and they have this really cool place or whatever. And do your best to get some kind of email or some kind of message, text message or whatever, to get permission from that person who gives the permission. Because that can ruin your whole day if you don't. If you're going out of your way to do a shoot somewhere and it doesn't go through, they stop you at the door and say, hey, who are you, and this and that. Well, that can ruin your whole day, especially if you don't have a backup plan, right? But if you're good at improvising, you can shoot somewhere else. But that's still time killer. It's still wasting your time. So this is number 1 or number 11. I'm going to stick with number 11. I'm going to say number 11 and go on from there. Get concrete permission from other people, from where you need to get the permission from. All right. Number 12 is a lack of leadership in a group photo session. So after a while, you'll be working with more than one model at a time. You'll be working with 2, 3, and even more, and that's always a great. The thing is, though, that it can be pretty chaotic. It can be fun. It is fun. But you, as the photographer, have to show leadership for the photo session. I don't mean being bossy with the models. I'm saying leadership in the photo session, guiding them, coordinating the time, a schedule, make a short schedule for it, tell them we're going to go here, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Try not to leave it to chance, or because if you don't respect your time, they won't respect your time either, right? And that'll you won't get the results that you want by letting other people lead you. So you have to show that leadership in the photo session. So that's the second one, or number 12. Number 13, being able to wrap up the session. So the mistake would be that we just kind of keep going on, and we just kind of let the session drag. We just kind of keep shooting more and more because maybe the model is attractive. Maybe we're just having a fun time, but not being able to cut it short. End the session. Say, okay, it's time to wrap up this session. So letting the session drag would be the mistake, right? Because you're just at a certain point, you're just kind of snapping away. But if you can have that discipline and say, okay, it's time to start wrapping it up, that'll show once again that you respect your own time. And when you respect your own time, other people will respect your time as well. So that's number 13. Number 14 would be setting a limit to the number of snaps. So this kind of goes back to the previous ones, where if you have a little bit of discipline as for your time, you respect your time, don't just keep on shooting away. So the mistake is just to keep on snapping away, and or even for a segment of the session, don't just snap away 100. Have that discipline. Tell yourself, well, I should maybe just shoot 30 at the most in this particular segment, this particular location area. So the mistake is because you're just shooting away and shooting away, where if you have that discipline to shoot a certain number, well, then you're having you're putting a limit on yourself, and you're forcing yourself to be more creative, to be more selective with your shots. Okay, so that would be the 14th one. Number 15th is continuous communication with the model, or the mistake is not having continuous communication with the model. It's easy for the photography to be in his head, thinking, what's next? How should I put the model? How should I pose the model? Where should I put her? And those type of things. So that's the mistake, because a model wants to know, well, what do you need from me? What would you like me to do? Where should I be? What should I do? What do you want me to do? Once again. So that lack of communication is a mistake, because you're turning it all into it's all about you, as opposed to being, interactive and a team effort. It's always a team effort. So let me move on. Oh, well, because you have continuous communication, because you're communicating here, even if you don't know what to do, maybe for some reason you get frozen, you can tell, you know what, I don't know exactly what to do here. Why don't you do what you like? Or, as long as you're communicating that, even, oh, well, I don't know what to do in this particular spot, well, then maybe that opens the door for her to suggest ideas as well, even though that should be part of the session, a give and take, right? But just being more communicative is always better. So number 15 would be not letting them know that you're on a time budget. So if they think they have all the time in the world, then they'll not respect your time. But if you let them know, yes, we're on the 3-hour budget, or yes, we're on a 4-hour budget, time plan, let's make the most of it, right? And try to be the one that says, we have this amount of time, we're working with this amount of time, so that you're kind of putting her to work, as opposed to thinking that it's just about you snapping away and photographing her. When you tell her we're working on this amount of time, well, then you kind of share the responsibility, and you're being a leader in the photo session, and she's respecting you and your time. Okay. So that would be 15. The 16th one is not letting her know throughout the photo session where you are on time, right? So she's focused on the poses and modeling, and you are focused on even more things probably, right? But still, you need to let her know, okay, well, we have this amount of time for this, and we're working on this kind of schedule. We have so much time left, right? So by not telling her that, then once again, she might think, well, I have all the time in the world, right? But once again, if you let her know, well, we have this amount of time left, we've done this and this and that, once again, it just shows that leadership, and you're working together. And she'll respect you for it as well, because, she designated a certain amount of time to be in the session with you. And if you show that you respect her time, because maybe she has something to do after the session, maybe she squeezed in the photo session with you, those couple of hours to be with you, and maybe she has something really, really important to do, or maybe she has to go to work, or whatnot. That's always a cool thing to watch out and look out for your model, especially their time, and that'll build trust. That was 15, right? Number 16 would be, oh, that might have been 16. You know what? Let's leave it to that. So that's about 16 or 6 more mistakes that we as photographers make in the photo session, and how to counter that so that your photo sessions run smoothly and better, and you get the results that you want. Both of you have a great photo session, and there's always ways to decrease the friction in terms of sticking points or bumps in the road. And I don't mean between people. I mean, time and just the factors in the photo session. And I think these counters to the mistakes will make your photo session even better and more productive. You have really great photos. All right. So once again, my name is Mariano Doms, and I'm the author of the ebook Any Model Anywhere. So it's about being able to do photo sessions and have really great results with any person in front of your camera, pretty much anywhere. All right, so I'll leave the link below on where you can find out more information, or where you can purchase it, or just subscribe. Adios.